Hi everyone, Catherine here. Uh, I'm so grateful to be here. I put on makeup and clothes today for the first time in 8 days. So I'm already really excited about this video. And in case you're wondering, yes, I am still wearing yoga bottoms because you're probably not going to get me out of my yoga gear for at least the next 4 months, the way this pandemic is going. But I didn't want to disrupt content that I hope will be valuable to you. And in these particularly extraordinary and interesting and potentially scary or exciting times, I wanted to talk to you today about leadership because now more than ever, leadership is so important. So, whether you are a leader in the traditional corporate sense, that you run a large company and you're someone who has leadership responsibilities, this video is for everyone, including you. So we are all leaders, no matter what our roles are in work, in life. We are all leaders, and that's really the context that I want to come to you from. I also want to come from the context that this conversation about leadership is all about consciousness. And you might be thinking, like, what does consciousness like actually have to do with leadership or anything? And it has everything. I know it can seem a bit airy fairy, but I'm going to make this really practical and grounded. So, firstly, to set the context for leadership, I'm going to be speaking mostly today about Richard Barrett's work, and in particular, his book, The New Leadership Paradigm, which is my favorite book on leadership. Like, if you only ever read one leadership book, I would go with this one. Yes, you might find tens of thousands on Amazon, but really, this one is gold standard, the absolute best, because it really comes from a holistic it really comes from a holistic sense, which I think is awesome for leadership. And I also just want to set the scene that I'm going to be really focusing on like the aspects of leadership. You know, the first aspect of of leadership is leading yourself. So your own personal mastery, like mastering yourself, your emotions, your thoughts, like operating in an integrous way. This is really like leading yourself is absolutely what you should be focusing on first. Um, Leading others, so perhaps you lead a family or you lead a small team at work, a couple of people, perhaps you're a leader in your community. um, Leading others is another aspect of leadership. And I'm going to really talk today about leading in organizations because I think in LinkedIn, this is where most of you are operating at. And also beyond, there's leading in society. And this is what we see is really necessary right now, particularly leaders of governments or leaders of large organizations who provide healthcare, who, and those organizations that are looking to find vaccines, looking to find treatments, and have just really like ramped up their activity. So there's also leading out in society. So coming back to leading in organizations, I want to introduce you to the 7 levels of consciousness model. This model is so deep and profound, and you can use it as a paradigm in lots of different directions. So you can look at it for yourself, like what are your own personal values? You can look at it for what is the culture of the team that you're leading. You can look at the culture of your organization and society. um, but we're going to really focus today on your own personal leadership of organizations. So these times it is very actually, let me explain the model first before I launch in. So really simply, there are 7 levels of leadership consciousness, 7 levels of consciousness, and you might recognize the bottom ones from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So what Richard did is he looked at Maslow's hierarchy of needs in terms of, personal motivations, and found that self-actualization was limited. So Maslow had five levels, which he believed you satisfied each level of need from fear and survival, physical safety, security, to having enough food, being loved by your family, being successful, like succeeding at work, and self-actualization was like this teeny tiny little triangle at the top. Well, what Richard's done is he's integrated that with 7 levels of Vedic philosophy so that self actualization actually gets expanded out to 3 levels. So he really gets more under the hood of self-actualization, and distinguishes it in 3 different levels: internal cohesion, um, having a life that works, that's purposeful, that's fulfilling, being of service to others, and leaving a legacy. So he really distinguishes these three. Um, I mean, they're higher levels and that they're labeled 5, 6, and 7. But unlike Maslow, where Maslow's hierarchy of needs built on each other, so it was all about satisfying that level. It's kind of like climbing the corporate ladder 50, 60 years ago. Maslow thought you had to satisfy one need, and when that need was met, um, you would then look to satisfy the next need. So people were constantly sort of, like trying to go up the pyramid. Whereas, in Richard's model, he believes that actually it's about integration. It's about having values on all 7 levels. It's not about climbing, although you will naturally, as a human being, go through different stages of life development. Like when you are born, you are just trying to survive. Like that's just true for humans. So you will naturally, as a human being, go through these different life stages. But to lead a fully integrated life and to be a fully integrated leader and to make a difference in your organization, in the world, um, leaders who align all 7 levels, they have values on all 7 levels, are the most effective and are having the most fun, and really loving life. So, in this time, I would encourage you, it's very easy to go to level 1, fear. Like, oh my God, what is going on around me? Like, the world as I know it is going away, it's disappearing. How am I going to survive? There's a lot of fear around your employees. Like, are our employees healthy? Are our customers healthy? Are we ourselves healthy? Is our organization healthy? Do we have enough? What are we going to do? Are we prepared for when we have a cash flow reduction? As people are canceling services, are we an organization that's actually outdated, that isn't meant to go forward? Is this the moment when our company is actually gonna close or go bankrupt? Some of us remember back to 2008, where we were when Lehman Brothers tanked, and life was never the same again. Are we one of those organizations? So it will be really easy to just go to level 1 and be afraid. My recommendation is be balanced. So, yes, go to level 1, get your ducks in a row, make sure that you have health stability, financial stability in your organization and in your life. But don't forget those other 6 levels in this time. Responsibly go to level 1, but also look after your people and your relationships. How are people working together at work? Level 2. Look at, are people like happy and fulfilled? Are they feeling confident? Are they feeling successful? Are they feeling good about themselves and the work that the company's doing and how the company's adapting in this um, period? Level 4, continuous growth and development. Now is the time for your company to transform. And level 4 is really where the magic starts to happen, because this is where what those basic survival needs of levels 1 to 3 um, transition to those the higher 3 levels, 5 to 7, which is where the real meaning and purpose comes in and where the real excitement happens. So make sure you're looking after your employees' own growth and development. Now is not the time to cancel your learning and development budget. Like, now is the time to keep investing in your people. It's not the time to cancel your employee engagement activities. Keep those going as well. And also, how does your organization, level 6, like, what communities, what people does your organization serve? Like, reach out to them, you know, make sure you're still making a difference. And also, what's your service? Level 7, what's your service to humanity and the planet? I know it's far out there. Like, who cares about the humanity and the planet when we're just, trying to survive? But I promise you, keeping balanced in those 7 levels for yourself as a leader, for your organization, looking after your people, that they are balanced along their 7 levels. Um, this is how you will survive. And beyond that, you will thrive. So that's a little bit longer than my usual video for you today, but I had a lot to say on that, and I hope it's inspired you in your organization. Share, like, what level do you see? What level is your organization operating at? What level are you operating at as a leader? And there is a values assessment. You can do a free values assessment to see your own, where your own personal values map in the 7 levels of consciousness, and where you're at individually. So I'll share that below. And lots of love to you all. Prayers, courage, all those positive energy. And I'm just really grateful to have you in my community and network. So connect with me if you have any questions. Connect with me in whatever way: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Contact me, and wishing you the best of times. Peace out. Bye.